Ralph. Morning, Sam.
All right, man. We're back on Morning Sam, Morning Ralph, and we've got a crazy, awesome guest today. You know him, you love him. His name is Troy Hooper. And this is an episode that Chad and I have been talking about for a while, getting somebody in there that really has tremendous franchising experience. And how do we bring to light some of the technology trends through the lens of a franchisor and a franchisee and how that dynamic works? So, Chad, we've got we've got Troy Hooper, man.
We got the best today, Paul.
We
and it's like 2 days removed for me having just been at his place in Vegas. I still got the door hanger.
Hey, there it is. Woohoo!
So
And I'm at a store in California.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Troy, I would go through your illustrious bio, but let's face it, man. People know who you are. You're a superstar in the industry. You've been around for 3 freaking decades. You built it all. You've seen it all. We're blessed to have you on the program and for you to drop some knowledge on everyone. Thanks, man.
Well, you guys are way too kind, and I'm getting some inspiration from my background. I love that. Your backgrounds are almost the same, but like a little different. Like I love this. Everything's square behind Chad, but it's kids' pictures. Everything's square behind you, but it's like
Perpetual 17-year-old.
Yeah, no, yeah. The devices for plugging in a guitar, right? Aren't those like little dials?
My guitar pedals.
Are you saying this is my work, Troy? Are you saying I look like I draw like a kid?
Oh, hey, I can see the progress of getting better, Chad. Keep trying at it.
I'll keep trying.
That's awesome. Yeah, we try to stay inspired. Clearly, Chad has, all of his shit together. He's inspired by his children. He's got these beautiful artwork, and me, I'm inspired by being perpetually 17 years old.
It's awesome, man. Got to keep it young. Love it.
Right. So, all right, pal. Let's get into it. Well, for those that aren't initiated into Troy Hooper world, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah.
Pepper Lunch and Hot Palate.
Yeah. So I'm the CEO of Hot Palate America. That's the parent holding company of a brand called Pepper Lunch here in North America. I'm the co-CEO of the brand globally. We came on board, myself, and I brought some team with me February of 2023 with the mandate to create the franchise business infrastructure in the United States, obviously start selling and opening stores and managing that team, but also to contribute to the global evolution of this brand. This brand was bought by our private equity parent company in 2020, and it took them about 2.5 years to find my superior, and then took him about 5 or 6 months to find me. And together we created this team, and we're exporting to Asia and the rest of the world the things that we know and the systems we're building and the processes we're putting in place to modernize the brand. And we're importing from them many of the things that are very important to have a successful brand, from the continuity and consistency and quality, global supply chain. My superior is expert in global supply chain. So we've put a team together on a global scale to modernize, evolve, and grow this brand dramatically. And we are growing dramatically. We have 70 stores under active development that will open in the next 4 years. We expect to add 70 to 100 new stores in the pipeline per year. We're going to open 5 stores in the next 4 months, which will put us at opening 5 stores within 18 months of starting the franchise.
Yeah.
And within 16 months of selling our first deal. So to open 5 stores within 16 months of a deal being sold, we're moving pretty quick. But we have a great team. We've put a great team here together in the U.S., and we're really excited about the future. And there's a lot coming. There's a lot we've done, but there's a lot more we need to do. And there's a lot coming, and that's the fun part of it, right? Is just the building never stops. The brand love never stops. So we're excited.
Awesome. So, Troy, first question I want to get into with you is, when people, especially in our industry, hear the word innovation, they think tech, they think software, they might even think AI and robotics these days. But when I think about it in the context of Pepper Lunch, that's not the first place my mind goes. Could you paint a picture for us of like how you think about innovation in your brand and that uniqueness, and put technology in its proper position in the context of that whole?
Yeah, I think technology still today plays a big role because we had none. Let's start with that. We
Yeah.
had zero. So for us, it's huge. But I agree. If I look back in a year or two from now, technology is in its proper place. It plays a role. It plays an important role. But we look at it differently. So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
We're putting kiosks in. So we're going from across the counter cashier transaction. Um, it can be a great experience. It can be a very dull experience. It really is mood based and all that. So we're gonna go to full kiosks for a couple reasons. We want the brand experience to pop off. We want people to really know what they're getting themselves into at Pepper Lunch when they walk in the door. But instead of eliminating that position or reallocating it to some kind of operational back of the house position, we're bringing it out front, retraining those folks and training in our new stores that role to be called what we call a hospitality host. It's a greeter, but more than a greeter, it's somebody to extend the brand. The Japanese culture is outrageous hospitality, right? And just in your face, really loving and caring hospitality is very important. So we're going to bring that to the fast casual experience. So when you think of innovation, what does that mean? How many fast casual restaurants do you walk into and that you are smacked in the face with brand experience from a person the moment you get there, right? So
Yeah.
we're going to walk you over to a kiosk and we're going to introduce the kiosk to you and introduce our menu and op- our service style to you. And then we're going to be there to answer questions and guide you. If you've been here before, you're going to learn about new stuff. If you've never been here before, you're going to get really comfortable really fast with how to build your plate your way and get what you want out of that experience. So that's one way of innovation.
Well,
Technology. Go ahead.
I want to build on that for a second, because that's
Yeah.
this is a really important concept. What you're talking about is the classic maitre d', right? The
Yeah.
maitre d'. What was the maitre d's job always in a restaurant? It's to greet you. It's to provide that first impression upon walking in the restaurant. You're
And
greeted.
build community, build relations,
Build relationship,
right?
build
If
community,
the
build
maitre d knew your
hospitality.
name, if the maitre d knew your name and you knew their name,
Right.
there's some perks to that. I come from fine dining originally, so
Well,
the
yes,
analogy.
you're extending that fine dining concept, bringing it to fast casual QSR in a way that is really modern, and I think is going to pay dividends, because if you take that person outside from behind the register, from behind the POS, put them in front, guide them over to a kiosk experience, right, where you have that brand, that really powerful brand knockout experience, through the UI. That's awesome. And there's one other thing that you said in the very beginning that I think is probably more of a blessing than a curse, is that you didn't have any technology. So you get to start from jump, baby. You get
Yeah.
to
Well, let me say we had no technology in the United States. We have 26 point of sales around the world because the master franchisees were basically given nothing originally by the founding ownership. And so they had to figure it out. And so we actually have to convert all of that on a global scale over the next 10 years. But in the US, yes, we're in a good position, but a very stressful position, by the way, to be the guy. I don't have a CT.
yeah.
I had to lean on friends like Chad and others in the industry to bounce ideas off of. I had to demo ungodly amounts of
Oh,
things. I had to evaluate. I had to ask customers how those tech things. So, I mean, it's been a long slog. Now, luckily, I had actually started doing that about 2 years before I got the job.
yeah.
So I had a foundation to build on and some relationships to go back to. But at the same time, I had to look at what does this brand need and what do these franchisees need to execute their business in the most efficient and profitable way. And that really was the motivation. When I think about tech, I don't think about what makes my job easier, because on the franchisor side, there's things we need to make our jobs easier, to give us insights, to give us the ability to serve our franchisees better. That's great. That's efficiency on our side. That's insights and intelligence on our side. But really, the way I looked at it was, what can these tools bring to the franchisee to make their job more efficient, more effective, higher quality delivery of experience, and improve their bottom line at the end of the day? So I think we've done a pretty okay job, and we won't know until we launch it here in the next 2 weeks and we start opening these new stores. And I'm sure we'll have to think about changes, but at the same time, I feel really good about how we're coming out of the gate.
That's awesome. Troy, I mean, as I mentioned, I've got your door hanger, so I see like the 10 bullet points of why a franchisee would be super excited to partner with you. What of those are franchisees most excitedly responding to? And we just got back from RFDC, and so I know you had a lot of great conversations. What's the thing or the two or three things that people like? That's it for me.
Yeah, three overwhelming topics off of that card. Um, I'll go in a particular order. Um, every single discovery day, every single potential franchisee, and certainly every franchisee who signed on, I always ask them, okay, you've seen it now. You've heard us talk about it. We've told you our story. We told you what we're going to do to be a great partner. You've eaten the food. You've seen the operations. What do you think? And okay, get some general impressions. And then I say, well, great. Why does this matter to you? What resonated? And I get the same answer. And it is what's on that card. It's about the 6 items out of the 10 on that card.
Hmm.
But the ones that really always stick out are the food's better than I expected. If they hadn't been here, or if they've only been there once, and the first time you go somewhere, you kind of grab something, and maybe it's not the most optimal. You just grab something.
Right.
When you come and you have this curated experience, like Chad, you got to have at RFDC, we can really highlight and talk about the ingredients and talk about the quality and talk about the investment we've made in those ingredients and the global QA and QC. So the ingredient quality, they always say this is better than I expected. And by the way, it's so much better for the value for the money is incredible. 18, $20. I'm getting a much better deal than I get most places for quality. Second one is simple. It's simpler than you said it was. Like you explained it, you showed it, you told me, but when I see it, the operations are so much simpler than I even imagined they would be. So that gets him excited, right? Because simplicity allows for consistent quality, allows for consistent deliverables to the customer. That's really the benefit of the simplicity of our operations. And the third, and what is the most important to the bottom line, and what kind of is the loudest, which is why I save it for the last, I don't want to lead with it, is the labor savings. So we have no prep labor. You don't pay any hourly wages to prep food. We have it all done outside the building for you. No skilled labor. You don't have to hire people who have experience in the kitchen, culinary skills of any kind. That's very important because that brings your labor per hour value down. You don't have to pay as much per hour because you're not paying chefs and cooks and line prep cooks. And then the third is our low labor model. You can run a store at peak volume with 4 people, 4 employees, right? Wow. And then to ladder up from a $1.8 million store to a $2.5 million store to a $3 million store, you're adding 1 or 2 people. We can run a $3 million store with 6 people. And so total labor from all of those aspects is much lower. It translates directly to the bottom line. Now, we don't provide audited item 19 financials, so I can't give you an exact number, but I can tell you that we have industry leading EBITDA, period. And so it just comes down to real estate execution and attracting and retaining a good customer, and you're going to have a very solid business. So those are the 3 most resounding value propositions that we hear back are most important to our franchise partners.
So a related question, what's the most underrated benefit of Pepper Lunch to these franchisees that is valuable, you've seen it and experienced it, but they don't have their head wrapped around it yet?
Yeah, it actually is the quality of the ingredients. It's really hard. I haven't gotten good at it. We need to start putting out content. As a matter of fact, we're doing a photo shoot in Artesia, California, where I'm sitting today. And the actual purpose of this photo shoot is actually to start to illuminate the ingredient quality a little bit better than we've done in the past. And what I mean by that is on July 9th, we launched a revamped menu. We just cleaned it up. We spent over a year thinking about recipes, ingredients, every ingredient that goes into the recipe. Where does it come from? Why do we buy it there? Why do we pay that? Is that the right ingredient? We did this for every single item on the entire menu, and it took over a year. And then we visited every single supplier. So the producer, the supplier, the processor, the shipper, the warehouse, everybody, distribution across the board. We visited and quality control inspected first party and third party inspection of every single supplier we have on the planet, not just the US. That translated to some decisions and to some negotiating that landed us in a really good position. And the biggest one that's most impactful is that we were able to take every single protein, whether it was beef, chicken, fish, shrimp, etc. We were able to elevate the quality, and all these things come on scales, right? There's the low quality scale and the highest quality scale. There's Michelin star and there's fast food, right? And there's a lot of options for every one of these ingredients in between on a scale. And we were already at, I'd say, at 80%, 75, 80% quality of what was possible. And we were able to ladder up one or two rungs on that ladder, on that quality scale measurement ladder, on every protein we offer. We were able to ladder up, and we actually lowered our food cost.
No kidding.
That's insane. We went from choice beef over prime to certified Angus beef. We got a incredibly better salmon, hand cut, unbiased, whole fillet salmon, right? Where we were getting something that came in a square in a package before.
Right.
And our cost went down $5 a pound. So at volume, the things we were able to save on, that volume of those items made up for all the items we paid more for. And the net was a 2.65% reduction in food costs, yet we improved the quality significantly. And that story has not really been told really well. We certainly haven't told it to the customer really well yet, which is why we're doing the photo shoot today. But I can tell you the customers who are already longtime fans of Pepper Lunch, we are asking them, we are proactively checking in. Hey, did you notice anything different about your meal today? Do you normally get that? Yeah, I get this every time I come. Is there anything really different in the last couple months?
Though, right? I mean, it comes back to
the flavor and chew. Flavor and chew. There's a better chew. It's a more supple. It's a better mouth experience. There's a greater complexity to the flavor profile, and they do notice it. They do, and on the salmon you can't miss it. On the shrimp you can't miss it. The beef, if you douse it in a bunch of sauce, you can miss it. But most people have noticed it, so it's really paying dividends. We've actually seen in sales.
You're onto something there big time, because when you look at some of the standouts that I think that are absolutely crushing it in that area is like Kava.
Yep.
I mean, just the flavor profiles, the difference. I mean, you can just, I mean,
you can taste the difference. You really,
you just know it's good stuff. I want to bring it back to technology for a second, and technology specifically with the franchisees. You're obviously you're running a really tight ship there, Troy. But how are you helping franchisees navigate through the technology stack that are you mandating a certain technology stack, or are you kind of like suggesting technologies?
17 out of 19 technology partners are mandated. Look, we've done the work. We know what the future in some regards looks like. We're setting the stack up to be able to continuously evolve and meet the needs of the future. That's important.
Yep.
But I'll say this, all the common stuff is common stuff, right? Point of sales and kiosks and digital menu boards. That's not exciting for me. What's exciting for me is that the first three technologies that I engaged with, regardless of whether they were going to integrate or not, were customer and consumer engagement platforms, listening platforms, surveying platforms, and monitoring and communication platforms that we can build community. I don't just want to watch reviews, respond to reviews, ask for surveys, respond to input. I actually want to build community through these platforms and deliver value back to the consumer over time through these platforms. So we have to build that community first. So I want to know what people are saying on social. I want to know what they're saying on review. I want to know how they're taking pictures and mentioning and tagging and hashtagging and using our gift stickers. One of the first things we did was create Giphy stickers. I think we're at something like 400 million Giphy sticker downloads. It's in 2 years. It's insane. They're not doing it because it's Pepper Lunch. They're doing it because they're cute and they're fun and they can use it on other things. But the ability, I thought that's really important. Not only is that so important what I've said, but what's more important is that we did it from the start. That the very first thing we did was have that microphone and megaphone available to connect from day one and to build that audience and build that relationship. So we're going to do some really cool, really fun, really engaging stuff using those platforms and using the lists and using the relationships we build with our customer there. So I really want to start capturing that early. So to me, for the franchisee, that's the most interesting. The operation stuff is operation stuff. Data intelligence is very valuable if you know how to use it. And we're going to help them learn how to use it. And we're going to use it ourselves to learn how to use it. But really, at the end of the day, helping us understand our customer and have a relationship and be able to have a feedback loop that we can both listen and talk to them is what's going to build a brand. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build a Western Hemisphere brand. I say North America because it's US, Canada, but we are going to Brazil in 2 years and probably to Mexico City in 3 years. So, we also want to build a global brand. There's the ubiquity of the awareness of this brand in Asia is amazing. And now we're going to the Middle East. We just want people when they travel the world to be confident and comfortable and excited to try Pepper Lunch everywhere they go.
How would you
Troy,
classify Pepper Lunch? I'm just wondering, Chad, just for clarification for the audience that may not be familiar with Pepper Lunch. It's an Asian brand. Now,
Japanese.
Japanese. Okay.
Yep.
Japanese, not Korean. So there is definitely a Japanese bent to the whole experience.
So we are Japanese teppanyaki for one. Now, a lot of people in America don't know what teppanyaki means. Teppanyaki is when you go to Benihana or your local, onion volcano and shrimp and that kind of place. Now, that's a very Americanized, bastardized concept. In Japan, omakase and teppanyaki are the two highest forms of culinary skill. So master teppanyaki chefs, you have 6 or 8 people, you sit around a table in a very small venue, and he's got a couple of support staff, just like omakase sushi. You sit there and they serve you. Teppanyaki, you can have a menu or you can have it omakase style where they serve you. The skill level of that is very high in Japan. Now, in the US, it's been really dumbed down and whitewashed and bastardized.
Yeah.
But we've done that for one. We've taken the hot table and turned it into a hot plate. So I just say it's a fast casual Japanese teppanyaki hot plate concept. And if you really still are struggling with that, what that means is, a fajita is a skillet that they heat up and they put food on. That food is cooked and it's really a gimmick. They put a piece of ice or a piece of dry ice on there. It's really kind of a gimmick to get your attention, sizzle, sizzle, cute. Our plate's actually 500 degrees Fahrenheit, 260 Celsius, and you're actually getting raw ingredients on your plate and you're cooking on your plate. Okay. And so when you go to Korean barbecue, you have that awesome cooking implement in the center of the table and everybody sits around and they bring the ingredients and you cook on it and all that. Mm-hmm. We've just taken that to fast casual, right? So that's what we are. But we are truly Japanese. The ingredients are Japanese. The recipes are Japanese. Our founder is a Japanese master teppanyaki chef. But most people don't really understand the breadth of the Japanese culinary scene and genre. So we do have to do a lot of work. Look, I just let the pictures and the videos and the pictures
that's
do
why
it
you're
all.
at that photo.
At the end of the day,
right?
Yeah, just lead with a picture and that looks cool. And then it's an experiential fast casual. The last thing I wanted to share with you is, kava's amazing. Chipotle invented down the line, fun. But you sit down and in under 5 minutes, we bring you a sizzling hot plate. You can hear it before it gets there, see the steam, smell the effervescence, taste the quality, enjoy the culinary flavors of Japan. And it's very energizing. And it's exciting because then 4 people at a table got 4 different things and everybody kind of customized it the way they wanted. And we all get to look and share and take pictures, really Instagrammable. So it's an experiential fast casual is the way we've labeled it.
I want to ask you about this because I was thinking about that in Vegas. I was like, there's this, and part of the function of the maitre d', you are educating the consumer on how this all works. There will be a point in time where they have that education. And it would seem like right now it's not all negative that they don't, because the fact that they don't know how this all works is part of the experience.
Right.
And part of what makes it Instagrammable. And so how do you see that evolving over time? Where the benefit pro con evolution curve where, okay, people are now more familiar with it, which comes with benefits, but it's lost that novelty that it has today.
There's 8 billion people in the world to expose to Pepper Lunch. So while we've done a really great job over 30 years in
Right.
520 stores in 16 countries, we got a lot of people to show Pepper Lunch to. I'll say this about what you said, Chad, though. One of the other benefits of having this greeter, hospitality host at the front door, is that we can segment the audience. Really obvious. If you've never been here before, when you walk in the door, wide-eyed, looking at the board, don't know where to start, right? That's easy to grab that person and say, welcome, right? We want to show you. Come here. It's really simple. We only have 8 food categories. Within those categories, it's really sauces. And yes, there's some different nuanced proteins available, but you can mix it up however you want. We'll show you. Okay. If you've been here before, you're like, get the newbie out of my way. Let me go order my super already programmed complex thing I've already built, right? Which when we go to kiosk now and we have a loyalty program set up and you can just punch in your phone number or email or eventually facial recognition, which I'm excited about, and the kiosk can just recognize you or the menu board can recognize you. Like, that's one thing I love about Chick-fil-A is I get a lot of flack for ordering Chick-fil-A too much, eating too much Chick-fil-A. It's too damn easy. My favorites and my recents are there, and I've pre-built breakfast favorite for Troy, breakfast favorite for Troy and my son, breakfast favorite for the 3 of us if my wife's with me. Like, I've done that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't have to think about it. I push a button and my food's ready in 5 minutes, right? So we want to do that for Pepper Lunch too, because people do customize the heck out of it. But when we segment you, we do want to actually reduce the friction for our existing customers, those who know the brand. We want to get out of the way and let them do their thing. Like, go do it.
Now, you bring up
let me add one thing to the discovery phase. The discovery phase is this. One of the most exciting things about discovering Pepper Lunch is, and this has happened to me almost 100% of the time when I bring somebody here for the first time, many, if not most of our customers who come here for the first time return within a week and they bring somebody new because they have found something. They discovered something exciting and interesting and very different. And so they want to tell everybody because they want credit for introducing people. And by the way, this happens in our industry, Chad.
Yeah.
Skip Kimball has taken multiple people in Vegas. I've had multiple people take people when they're in town in LA or Vegas and send me pictures and be like, I just wanted to show my friend, or my sister was in town. I had to bring her to Pepper Lunch. She's never seen anything like this. So our customers do that too. So it's like a compounding discovery. If we can get you in one time, we're going to make sure you have a great experience. You're going to get your socks knocked off, and then you're going to probably bring a friend or a group of friends back because you want the credit for exposing them to something new and exciting.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've felt the urge
I buy
to
that
do that
1,000,000% because you remember. I think everybody has done that. You discover whether it be a new restaurant or a new store or a new shop in the mall. You tell people about it. It's something that's gonna carry. But I have to ask you, right? With going back to the tech stuff, mobile ordering, pickup delivery, these apps, including your own private app, these things have really kind of reshaped the entire hospitality industry and the customer experience. So I'm assuming that you're going to offer pickup and delivery for Pepper Lunch, but with such a unique concept where heat and presentation and the senses are all part of that experience. What's the plan for that? Are you using technology to make sure that you're providing that super tight handoff between for ready time and pickup?
Yeah, it's really important not to wing this. We've spent 20 months. I can tell you, it was at NRA, National Restaurant Association show in 2023 that we met with a group and we started this process. It's a multi-pronged, complete holistic approach. I just want to say that from climate control lockers at the front door to hold the food and segment the pickup and delivery driver and self pickup experience. We're going to have that. And we've been very thoughtful about how we're doing that. To the technology in the kitchen, we've developed a new prototype in our kitchen, which we have gone from one make station and make line to 2 separated make station make lines for in-house to handle the multiple customer tables, the more than 3 or 4 people at a table environment. And we've added a 3rd make line for off-premise. So we have a completely dedicated off-premise make line going the opposite direction. So we don't have crisscross, we don't have interruption. And we are in the middle of an R&D project now with technology. Rotating kettle walks is the technology we're testing and implement. 2 years ago, they were dumb. They were just push a button and it turns on, and you have a hot implement that you can put food into, and it tosses sauce and ingredients together. Then they got semi-smart, where you could program them for time, temperature, and speed. That was pretty good. And now they're becoming almost fully automated, where they hold the sauces cold, they hold the sauces ambient temperature, and basically you just throw a bunch of ingredients and push a button, and it does the entire recipe. So we're moving towards that. We're doing an R&D project in Singapore in our test kitchen with that type of technology now. That's going to take 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
In addition to that, what I started to talk about with the NRA shows, we partnered with a company. And then, by the way, guys, breaking news. I love to break news on podcasts. So nobody's ever heard this before. I actually signed the agreement in the car before I walked in to do this show. We worked with a company called Supply Caddy. Supply Caddy is a packaging company that doesn't want to sell you cups, bowls, and bags. They want to custom design and create technology-driven packaging for you. And when we bring our new to-go container to the market in Pepper Lunch, it will be the first restaurant in the world to use the technology that we're using. It was actually developed by NetJets, the private jet company with billions of dollars to spend. Imagine that their customers are ordering Michelin quality food. They want Michelin quality omakase sushi, and they better stay chilled and it better be in good condition, right? So the technology was actually paid for and designed for NetJets. We're going to be the first restaurant to have reapplied that technology into our container. And what's amazing is that one of our core values, from our private equity company to our holding company to our brand, is sustainability and thoughtfulness about the climate and world, right, our impact on the world. And this product is a certified regenerative farming sourced product that is also compostable, fully compostable, not BS compostable, fully compostable. Yet it holds our food hot 150 degrees for 30 minutes, and it allows the steam moisture to escape without letting it dry. It's a pretty interesting balance.
What's the name of this firm again?
Supply Caddy out of Miami, Florida. So Supply Caddy, Caddy. And so these guys have done some projects for Dave's Hot Chicken, Popeyes, and some others.
Yeah.
But this is a technology, and they basically said to us, we're looking for a customer that gets what it is we're trying to do, wants to do something extremely unique, and we want to showcase what's possible in sustainability. They focus wholly on sustainability. We want to show that you can use sustainable, regenerative products that are good for the earth, that are compostable or biodegradable or recyclable, but that they also perform and that they feel and look amazing. And so I can't wait in the next couple of months to debut that product. But to your point, it's an experience. You lose that on the off-premise. The quality of the food, it's a struggle, 30 minutes down the road to take something that you're eating hot and fresh. So it's not the same. And for that reason, we're not going to have the same menu. We're not going to offer all of the same items to go. We just can't. We're not going to risk our brand, and we're not going to risk your experience. Why are you going to pay $20 to us, $8 or $12 to the delivery company, whatever that is, to get something that's really not a great experience? So we're not going to allow that to happen either. So again, holistic, thoughtful, end to end, and we're going to do it when we can do it right. So we're not rushing into this. So stay tuned, coming in the next 4 to 6 months, but we want to make sure that it's good for our employees, good for our franchisees, and amazingly great for our customers.
Excellent. This has been, listen, time check. We're about a half hour in. Troy is an absolute font of knowledge and experience. I hope you guys that are listening out there are getting sort of the same vibes that Chad and I are getting from Troy. And this is an excited man talking about an excitable brand, something that's going to be very different, I think, that the U.S. really hasn't experienced yet. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Troy, Chad and I were talking a little bit before the podcast started, Troy, about how do people that are interested in franchising, how do they get in touch with you? I mean, how do they, are you all lined up, and what's next? How can
we're ready? We're rocking and rolling, baby. We've sold 70 stores to 8 partners. We got a great pipeline. Yeah, it's super easy. I want you to know a little bit about the brand. And we've done something, again, a little bit different, very innovative. Haven't been talking about this. It's a B2B conversation more than anything. But we've created our own franchise discovery portal, a place that you can sign into and start learning about the brand on your own time, at your own pace, but at a greater depth than just about anybody can offer you in the franchise world when you're looking at opportunities to invest in. So you just simply go to our website, pepperlunchrestaurants.com, pepperlunchrestaurants, plural.com. Please check out the front end website, the main consumer facing website. There's videos, pictures, blogs, news articles, etc. to check out. Then click on the franchise button at the top, and that's a separate landing page. There's a little bit more B2B information, a little bit more details about what it's like to partner and invest with us. But then we want you to hit get started and actually create a profile, because that unlocks this portal that will give you the opportunity to watch videos, receive information decks, read more articles, learn more details about what it means to be a partner in this business. And if you give us a little bit of information on there, we're going to continue to deliver more. We're certainly going to call you, text you, email you, bug you, invite you to come have a meal with us, do all the things you normally do in franchise sales. But we've added a component to that to make sure that you are the most educated and informed as you can be going into this conversation. So we just encourage people to go to the website and check it out.
Rock on. We'll definitely put them in the links. Check out the links below, fellas and ladies. Chad, how do you want to wrap this up?
In the context of the overall growth plan of the brand, we've gotten into some specifics, and kind of like what you're excited about, but also how you see it playing out over the next, several years. Because we even talked in Vegas about certain things that you're doing that are going to be doing that are very unique on the community building side.
Yep.
Anything that comes to mind is like, this is a good parting thought along those lines, I think would be a great way to close this out.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I'll say is anything you're looking at and thinking about, there's two parts to that for me. One is it a benefit to your customer, your employee, and your business? Is it a value proposition to all stakeholders in the equation? And does it solve a problem or create a great opportunity? Second, to the stakeholder point, don't even start thinking about we need a technology, or is there a technology, or I found this cool technology, I want it, without involving all of the stakeholders that have to engage it at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about this. This looks interesting. This sounds exciting. Could this differentiate? Is this solving a problem for our business? Talk to the employees at HQ and at store level. Bring in a franchisee. Create a coalition, a council, and bring a couple of customers in. Have some other industry people that you can lean on. Have consultants, coaches, firms that can help you look at this from every angle. So create this sort of board of advisors when you look at each thing, and make sure you're thinking about all aspects of it, particularly how you're going to implement it and be successful at implementing. What I'm specifically excited about is we have been very deep in engaging with AI for almost 2 years. The first employee I hired was a technologist, really focused around UX UI, but he's really a technologist. So we've been employing and deploying AI from the very beginning. Actually had a meeting this morning about our AI plan, and I'm actually going to be speaking at a conference next year about what we've done with AI. So we're creating AI agents, and this is not just for fun and cute and put a shiny object out there. We're looking at how we can make the business more efficient for us to operate, but also more efficient for our franchisees. They have to run their business, and how can we make it so that we can create tools that are educated on our brand as AI agents, AI databases, et cetera, that can help them expand their ability in marketing, expand their ability to digest data. I've been putting sales mix and PMix reports into ChatGPT for a year. What used to take me 4 to 6 hours to really analyze and think about it and compare and one store to another and pricing and did we help or harm the business? ChatGPT does in 2 minutes, right? And at least it saves time and gives me more intelligence. So, we're really looking at that as a business tool, and not only in the back of the house, but the franchisor-franchisee relationship and the franchisee business operations system. So AI, it's a buzzword, everybody's talking about it, but it does nothing for you if it doesn't do something for you. So make sure that if you're looking at AI solutions or tools or companies that can help you with that, make sure that you're really solving for something with that. That's what I'm most excited about right now.
Absolutely.
Awesome. That's a great way to close things out, I think.
Absolutely. Listen, yeah, this has been great, Troy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to chat with us here at Morning Sam, Morning Ralph, bro. You are the Pepper Lunch Wizard. Let's remember that. I wish I had my acoustic here. I'd do another riff for you.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll do
Thanks,
this
guys.
again. I want to hear more about this. I can't wait. I can't wait. I don't know if you're coming to Boston anytime soon, but over here in Boston, I don't know, we seem to get things a little bit later than usual. Maybe people are afraid
Well,
of the cold. I don't
all
know.
right. Well, no promises. But actually, at RFDC, somebody pulled me aside and said, "Hey, I think I might be interested in being a franchisee in Boston." Literally, swear to God, I'm not joking. That conversation hasn't even started. It was a whisper
Yeah,
in my ear over a drink at a bar. So let's see if that goes somewhere. But look, eventually, look, Boston's a major market. We'd love to be there. We just, for us, it's about finding the right franchise partner. So as soon as we do that, we'll be there, my friend.
you got it, buddy. All right, have a great shoot. Get
Thanks.
you get that food glowed up. Start educating, and
Oh,
just keep doing what you're doing, bro. Thank you so much.
thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Troy.
Ciao.